18 years.
Gosh.
And then for this last year, Joachim has been carrying on the walk. But we go occasionally. We went for the Thanksgiving walk, and we're going for a Christmas one tomorrow, because each year of the 18 years we did one on Thursday and also on Christmas. So we're doing the walk tomorrow.
What made you start it? Can you recall the first days of the walk? I mean, what motivated you to start it?
Sure. I had a day off where I was working. I was working as a business agent for the AGVA, American Guild of Variety Artists. My wife and I decided as long as we had a day off, we'd take a walk. And some people said, well, if you're taking a walk, can we take a walk with you? Sure. So it started out 2 or 3 or 4. And finally, the one on last Christmas, there were 500 there. The one this Thanksgiving, there were 350. And all the time, I've been teaching just a very few things. And some people say, well, and I say to them, why do you keep on coming back? I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Well, I'd think you'd get it long ago and be sick of the whole damn thing and not come around. There you are.
It cost you a lot of ice creams, I understand.
Yes. On the one for that Christmas of 500, only about 150 went to the beach. Cost me $80.
Oh gosh.
But that's all right. And I never let anybody give any money towards it or accepted any money at all. Because, you see, you can't buy truth and you really can't sell it. And the reason you can't buy it or you can't sell it is the thing is, you got to find somebody who's neither buying nor selling, but just trying to be. Huh? So, simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you have allowed yourself to be open on a channel, those people weren't coming by for anything I said. I might have centered their attention for a few minutes or an hour or two, but the thing is, they let themselves quiet down, be still, be happy. Huh? And it encouraged that to start growing more. Huh?
It feels like a big family, and going to the walk feels like
That's right. That's right.
meeting your family again.
And wouldn't it be a wonderful time when the whole world realizes it is just one family? If a dinky nobody in an obscure city on the planet as a whole can start a walking apart with nobody and have it multiply that well, then if at another level and someone more important got into it, it would go, wouldn't it? But the thing is this, you plant the seeds or you stimulate the seeds in the heart, and those people after a bit, whether they say anything about the particular subject or not, they're radiating it. And we scientifically know that there is such a thing as radiation. Oh, very definitely we know it. So that's what it amounts to. So if enough of them get catching, it's catching. It's like measles. It feels good. But measles don't feel good, but still it's catching. It's contagious.
Yeah.
That's very comfortable. And it's happy.
Huh? You met in your lifetime, you met a lot of people who are probably very interesting and people that maybe you caught something from or that you shared some
No
interesting
doubt.
space with.
No doubt.
Could you tell us maybe some story from meeting
That
some...
phase, Annie Besson.
Oh.
I met her in Chicago when she was taking a trip back to India. She was a short woman, only about that high. But when you'd see her in pictures or you'd listen to her for a while, she looked as if she was over 6 foot, you know? And I met her in Chicago. And I wrote to her after she got to Adyar. And then after I had finished a letter to her telling her, at that time I wanted to be a liberal Catholic priest, see.
Uh-huh.
I wrote to her while she was still in the city. I'd met at the Theosophical Society, at the Liberal Catholic Church Library. And the next morning, because I was singing at the Oriental Theater in Chicago, I went over to the other Theosophical Society in Chicago rather than the Liberal Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
And she was looking all over for me before she left town. I don't know why. But anyhow, I wrote her this letter if there's anything special that she had in mind for me to do. You can imagine a young member of the Theosophical Society, how astounded you would be.
Mm-hmm.
And in the letter, as a postscript, I put in the letter, of worldly jewels and riches I have none. My wealth of will surpasses all. Thine, not mine, be done. So I found that the bishop there in Chicago, and I was around this church when I'd get time between working in theaters to get down there. He said, Annie Besson talked to me about you before she left the city. And she said you were not to be a liberal Catholic priest. That when you got old enough, you would know what you were supposed to do. So evidently, to my mind, I'm just doing what comes naturally.
All right.
Huh? And in that way, I hope, fulfilling in part, as I'm always open to whatever might come, that doing pretty well. But nobody has to gouge you to me like that. In other words, I guess I got a job of just spreading some seed. Giving a little warmth to the seed that was already there in people so that it starts sprouting a little.
It's sprouting, all right.
Okay.
I understand you also carried a correspondence with Evan Swence.
Yes, I met Evans once.
Mm-hmm.
Went down and talked to him.
Mm.
And one night when we wrote a certain song, when Gwen put music to certain words, I called him up on the phone. And the particular song we were singing to him was Imagine Not, Think Not, Analyze Not, Meditate Not, Keep in the Natural State. He said on the phone, you're in that state now, stay there. Where before he was sick, but when I got through with that, that's what he said. Yeah, I went down and saw him and he said, well, which one of my books do you like the best? That is the four, And I said, the book I like the best is the one that was the concluding one before he put out The Great Liberation, Tibetan Yoga and the Secret Doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, what chapter in the book do you like best? I said, Clear Light. And I also have a strong leaning towards the one on the long home.
Mm-hmm.
He said, what do you think of the first chapter? I said, it's great, but it's not my way of getting there if I ever get there. Well, he says, I got another book coming out. That was before The Great Liberation come out.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, what you want is in that book.
Mm.
So, for, I guess, at least over 10 years, at the time of Easter, prior to Easter, wherever I am, I do that 6:30 in the morning thing, and everybody's welcome to come. I did it here for the 10 years I've been living here.
You read from the book of the...
I read The Great Liberation to them.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a little over a half hour.
And that's every morning?
Just 5 mornings a week.
Oh, 5
during
mornings.
that time.
Yeah.
Because after all, we got Saturday and Sunday,